The new Whirlpool W collection with Sixth Sense technology that fully guides you to achieve perfect results. Whirlpool, sensing the difference.
Welcome back. We're serving up a Sunday treat with an ingredient that we're very lucky to have in abundance in the country at this time of year. And of course, this is the humble strawberry.
Yes, Tara Walker, author of Good Food, No Stress, is back for the first time since before lockdown. Welcome back, Tara.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Tara.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really, really nice to be here. It was great to get up and get going this morning with a project to do.
A purpose, a
Yes,
sense
exactly.
of purpose.
Yeah.
So tell us what you're doing for us. Something to go with our tea or coffee this morning.
Exactly, or a nice little dessert as well, a light dessert, perfect if you were, say, having a barbecue or something like that. So it's little strawberry shortcakes. I mean, strawberries are just so gorgeous at the moment, Irish strawberries. Like, to be honest, it's quite a simple little recipe because the strawberry is the star, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah.
So first up, I'm going to make a little shortbread. So shortcake in America tends to mean more of like a cakey type, or more like what we think of as a scone almost.
Okay.
Whereas in Ireland and in the UK, it's a shortbread.
So like a biscuit, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a great one to make with the kids actually as well. So a really quick little sort of shortcut is to pop your flour and your butter and your sugar, I've got icing sugar here, into your food processor. So the traditional way would be to rub it all together until it resembles sort of, you know, breadcrumbs kind of thing. But actually the thing is that actually when you're handling it that much, sometimes the butter melts a bit, particularly here where it's very warm. So it's quite handy because it stops it from melting. And the thing about it is that that lovely crumbly short texture comes from the butter not having been melted.
So not melting is the way to go.
Key,
Okay.
exactly. So give me 1 second, I'll just split it up. That's it, and that's really it. Sort of blitzed
That's
up.
quick and easy.
It's really quick. And then what you do is pop it out onto a work surface and bring it together with your hands. And this takes a little bit of effort, but it's quick enough still. So it doesn't look a whole lot there. You can see that kind of breadcrumb texture I was referring to. And what you do then is bring it together. It takes a minute to bring it together. And you're not really kneading it as such, but you're giving a little bit of stretch to it by bringing it together. And then when it comes together, pushing the heel of your hand out, which I'll show you now in 1 second. And that kind of makes it into a dough.
Right.
And then you're going to rest it in the fridge for at least an hour.
Oh, I can see that
In some
now.
cling film,
So you need
yeah.
a bit of patience, because initially you might think you're doing something wrong.
Yes,
Exactly,
exactly.
yeah,
Not enough
exactly.
moisture.
Yeah.
Or hold your confidence, hold your nerve sort of actually, yeah, because you might think it's going a little bit kind of too crumbly, but it will come together if you keep working it together,
Okay.
just like this.
Did you use plain flour in that recipe, Tara?
Yeah, but you can use self-raising as well. Yeah,
Okay.
the self-raising will just kind of give a little bit of leavening to it, but it'll be fine. Doesn't make a big difference in this. And I like the icing sugar because you don't get the little crystallized bits of caster sugar. That's my...
So it's finer.
Yeah, this is actually an old cordon bleu recipe from where I trained in Paris. And it was kind of done with a much more sort of, you know, fine dining kind of accompaniments.
Yes.
That must have been an incredible experience.
Oh, it was amazing.
Was
It was absolutely, it's like over 10 years ago now, but it was funny. It was just icing sugar was kind of the difference, whereas normally it's caster
I
sugar.
would never think of icing sugar.
Yeah, exactly.
No, in any recipe.
No.
So you can see it brought together there now.
It's a lovely romantic notion, isn't it, to go off to do cordon bleu in Paris?
Yeah, it was. It was a big kind of life change for me and a big sort of investment and something I'm really glad of.
Should be on everyone's bucket list.
It must be so nice. To
And
spend
actually
3 months.
the movie Julie and Julia just came out when I was there
You're
as well.
joking.
So the whole
Really?
thing with the author and everything in the college, yeah, it was great.
That was the movie that popped into my head, yeah. That's a really charming little movie, actually.
Absolutely, it's gorgeous. So look, that's it brought together, more or less. Okay. And pop that into some cling film, leave it over, well, I left this overnight because I made it yesterday, but just leave it in the fridge for at least an hour. Let it just kind of firm up and come together. And then just start to roll it out. I actually prefer not to handle it too much. I would rather it was nearly breaking a little bit and crumbling, because you're going to get a lighter, nicer texture from it. Whereas if it's kind of overly worked, it ends up being more kind of like just your regular biscuit, you know?
Is that a fine line, though, between it crumbling and disintegrating when you pick it up?
It is, yes, which is why I actually brought this to show you, which is a dough scraper or a pastry scraper. Great little tool to have in the kitchen because it'll come right in underneath and stop it from kind of, you know, crumbling when you lift it up.
That's a very handy tool.
Very, very. You can get them in any sort of kitchen shop, or this one's from Dunn's, I think, that I got a few years ago. Or even just a palette knife works very well. It's something really thin that'll get nice and neatly underneath. So roll it out, and then you can just cut whatever shapes you want, really.
So this is where the kiddies will have fun.
Exactly. So like obviously your traditional circle, but this is really handy. This is actually more for fondant icing, and it's a little love heart, and it says love on it. So quite cute then. Press that out. And then that's where your little pastry scraper comes in, because it gets right in underneath it. And there's your little nice little shape, exactly. And it says love on it. It's just stamped into it.
Oh, that's stinky.
Yeah, it's really cute. So then into the oven, onto a baking tray for about 8 to 12 minutes. These took 10 minutes yesterday evening. And here they are ready, so you can see the little love stamp.
And what about the heat on the oven? 180
Yeah, no, 160 actually, a bit cooler. 160 on a fan oven, 180 on a conventional oven. But yeah, that little bit cooler than you'd normally have it.
Okay.
I had to really guard these. My daughter was looking at those cooling in the kitchen, the ones that say love in particular. So next up then, I have some nice chantilly cream, and it's just a very, very light kind of whip on it. I don't want to over whip it. So just bring it together just about.
Okay.
And then we're going to add some icing sugar to it. Just a little bit, really.
To thicken it up?
Yeah, well, more just for a little bit of sweetness.
Sweetness, okay.
And I've got some vanilla extract here. And this is actually homemade vanilla extract made by one of the ladies who works with me at the cookery school.
Oh, really?
We decanted it, yeah. So she puts a few vanilla pods into some vodka, leaves it for 6 weeks.
Oh.
And it's in a big, big jar. We just
joking.
decant it then, yes.
And Tara, how has business been during lockdown?
Yeah, funny,
Tricky
just thinking
times.
of my lovely staff member, Patricia. I haven't seen her much. Yeah, it has been tricky because we're closed completely. And with social distancing, I'm not really sure when we can kind of open. But we've been doing some Zoom cookery classes online, which has been quite fun.
I'm sure they were a great success,
Yeah,
given
they're
that
good.
we all had time to cook.
Exactly,
for weeks.
yeah. And we had big kind of corporate groups, and then we had individuals. They're on a Thursday from 6 to 7.
Okay.
And what's nice is people who are miles away from us can actually come, because, you know, obviously, ordinarily, it's a bit of a trip up to us or whatever. So let me finish off here.
So how are you going to plate this up, Tara?
So I have a little shortbread on the bottom.
Okay.
Some of our nice cream. Then some of our strawberries, which are just gorgeous and in season at the moment.
You've just
Eyeing up
sliced
your little plates. They're lovely, aren't they?
The little glass ones kind of make it look more dainty. And then top with another one. And then I was out in the garden early this morning, so we have lovely mint flower here for a little garnish.
Oh, beautiful.
Obviously, if you don't have mint flower, don't worry, mint leaf is quite nice as well. And what's also really nice, and I picked this at about 7 o'clock this morning, some lavender,
Lavender, lovely.
just for a little garnish.
Oh, that's so pretty.
And who's going to taste first?
Laura, I'll slide it down. I'll slide it down. There's something so girly about this, isn't there? It's very
Actually,
pretty.
I've got the ladies in the kitchen today.
It's
Yes.
nice and light, so
Yeah.
it's the perfect end to perhaps a filling dinner.
Well, we're going to convince
Thank you.
ourselves it's nice and
Exactly.
light, aren't we?
And of course, full
there
recipe
we go.
details are up on the website, or of course you can check out Tara's own website. That's eastcoastcookeryschool.ie for more. Thank you, Tara.
Thanks, Tara. Now, still to come, summer styles on the catwalk, and Fleur East will be joining us for a chat. See you soon.
The new Whirlpool W collection with Sixth Sense technology that fully guides you to achieve perfect results. Whirlpool, sensing the difference.